Hello students, my name is Miss Jill and I'm here today from Manzanita Bridge School, and today we're going to do a presentation and talk about something that I find really interesting and super important, and I'm sure you've all thought about it before, but we're going to look at it from a different perspective. So today we're going to talk about something called Keystone species and trophic cascades. You might ask, what are keystone species and what are trophic cascades? Well, also today we're going to learn about some key concepts that will answer those questions. And those key concepts are ecosystem, predation, food webs, trophic cascades, and of course keystone species. What is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is a large community of living organisms, plants, animals, and microbes in a particular area. An ecosystem can be any size, and they usually are in particular places. Each ecosystem has its own community. Predation. Predation is an ecological relationship in which one living organism serves as a food source for another. A predator is an organism that eats another organism. An example of that would be a lion and a zebra, a bear and a fish, or maybe even a fox and a rabbit. Predator and prey evolve together. Food web. At the top of the food web are the predators, and the predators are the animals that eat other animals. In the middle of the food web are the herbivores, which are an animal that eats plants. And of course, at the bottom of the food web are the producers, which are organisms such as plants who make their own food at the bottom of the web. What would happen when a species is removed from the food web? Does this affect other species? Keystone species. A keystone species is a species whose activities have a significant role in determining the community structure. Some examples of that would include the bison, the prairie dog, or the otter. These are keystone species because they have a great effect on their ecosystem, and without them, the ecosystem would change or suffer. A keystone species is an organism that helps define the entire ecosystem. Without its keystone species, the ecosystem would be dramatically different or even cease to exist altogether. Trophic cascades. This occurs when a predator in a food web suppresses the abundance of their prey. An example would be otters eating sea urchins. The abundance of the lowest trophic level increases. An example would be kelp increases because urchins are no longer consuming it. Trophic cascade, for example, is a top-down cascade, and it will occur if predators are effective enough in predation to reduce the abundance or alter the behavior of their prey, thereby releasing the next lower level of predation. In just a moment, we're going to pause our video and we're going to check out this special movie by ecologist Robert Payne and James Estes, and they are going to take a look at a starfish inclusion experiment off the coast of Washington. The film is called Keystone Species and Trophic Cascades, and when you're done with this presentation, we'd like you to come on right back here where you paused your film. So enjoy your movie and return back here when you're done. Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the film and gave you something to think about. So let's go ahead and take a look at some key takeaways from the video. We learned that the starfish experiment demonstrated how the removal of a keystone species has a direct effect on the population size of nearly every other species nearby. The relationship that the sea otters have with the kelp and the sea urchins is a perfect example of a trophic cascade, and that the orcas needed to change their diet to sea otters, and this had a direct effect on the rest of the food web. We all play a crucial role in the protection of these keystone species in order to maintain the trophic cascade functions. Next, I'd like everyone to take the opportunity to read this short article by National Geographic Society on keystone species. And then when you're done, I'd like you to click on the Google form and answer a few short questions about the work of zoology professor Robert Payne and the effects of ecosystem engineers, mutualists, and predators. Once again, pause this presentation here and return back when you are ready. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that the quiz and article were interesting and challenging enough that you could put your brains to work. So let's review. Today we talked about ecosystems, predation, food webs, trophic cascades, and keystone species, and how important keystone species are to the entire ecosystem. We all play a crucial role in the protection of keystone species in order to maintain the trophic cascade functions. I hope you all enjoyed this presentation and it has you thinking about the role that we all play in protecting the environment and all of its species. If you'd like to check out some more information, I've attached a few video links for you to enjoy. The one about wolves and how they change the river is super interesting. And then you can look at how ecosystems got a keystone and then what are keystone species. The last thing I want you to do before you leave here today is show me that you understand. And if you could please take a moment to email me 3 examples of a keystone species and at least 1 example of how they affect the trophic cascades. Thank you everybody for coming out today and checking out our video presentation on keystone species and trophic cascades. I hope you gained a lot of information and I sure enjoyed learning with you. Have a great day.
Come on, Dora!